Support for Rap in Order is brought to you by Manscaped,
who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming champions of the world. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped just launched their 4th-generation trimmer, the Lawnmower 4.0. You heard that right, the 4.0. Join over 2 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you. 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code RAPINORDER20 at manscaped.com.
check it out.
Welcome to another episode of Rap in Order. I'm First Class Regg.
I'm Taurian B.
And today we're going to get into the 4th studio album from Mac Miller. It was released in 2016, The Divine Feminine. This album featured guest appearances from Kendrick Lamar, Anderson .Paak, Ty Dolla $ign, and Ariana Grande.
Don't forget CeeLo Green.
Oh, and CeeLo, of course, yes. I can't forget CeeLo.
Yes.
This album, when it came out for me... Oh, and Bilal. Can't forget Bilal either. Yeah. This album, when it came out for me, was really interesting because from what we knew of Mac Miller at that time, this just didn't fit the mold. I think at this time, he started growing as an artist, right? So we saw a different side of him with this album. Before this, he came out with Good AM. That kind of, it showed us more of his lyrical abilities, and he was, stepping it up lyrically. And then, of course, watching movies with the sound off, which we reviewed before, showed another side of him as well lyrically. But this one, even with the pairings on this album, you got a chance to see a different side of Mac. But how'd you feel about revisiting this album?
So I gotta be honest. The first time I listened to this album, I kind of like brushed it off. I was like, all right, cool. He's Pussy Whipped by Ariana Grande. And okay, cool. La-di-da. I listened to it, right? And then I never went back to it. For this episode, I really wanted to dive into it and give it a shot. Obviously, because he's passed, and you hear so many good things about Mac Miller, so I wanted to give him a fair shot. So I know to some of our listeners, they might be like, "Oh, so the only reason you give him a fair shot is because he died." And the truth is, yes, I'm going to be honest. I gave him a fair shot because he died, and people said really nice things about him, and I was like, you know what? For him to be such a beloved and good person, let me give him a fair shot. And I gotta be honest, I love this album. I went back and listened to it because I've listened to his albums, right? And to me, what I gathered about this project, right, is that he was in an artistic place similar to where Kanye was after graduation. So when he put out this project where you think all right, lyrically he's getting to his best, right? And then he comes out with something completely left, and he makes this album and it's dedicated to women. Because like he said, this album was just not about romantic love. It was about the learning from women throughout his life and what those experiences meant to him. And I guess he felt like not also including pussy because he talks about pussy on his album the whole time. So to me, this is his 808s and Heartbreak. Because this is when he's really trying to sing. He has a ballad with Ariana Grande where he's trying to hold notes and do things with her. So this album surprisingly was very enjoyable to me. It made me really, really take it in and think damn, this dude he was really in love with Ariana Grande. So it's unfortunate that they didn't work out, and it's unfortunate that he lost his life. But it really the production on this album is excellent. It's just a good feeling. It feels more so a moody spoken word jazz album.
Yeah, that's actually a good way to put it. I mean, and he had a really good quote too that I wanted to share about this album. He said, "The Divine Feminine to me is the universe. I'd hate to be cliche, I love the universe, man, but it's so real. Treating the world how you're supposed to treat a female is awesome. The more you make love to it and the less you try to fuck it, the better it all becomes for you. It's a deeper experience with life. I'm trying to cuddle the world after sex, not keep the Uber running and dip out." So I thought that was really cool because it kind of, when you go into this album after hearing that quote, it kind of puts everything in perspective for where he was and showing respect and love for women and, and who he worked with on this album, obviously, to bring out what he did. And the amount of friends, like after he passed, even reading like what CeeLo said about working with him or what Anderson .Paak said about working with him, was really, really touching shit. But off the top, you have this intro with Bilal, which is it's really light on lyrics, right? But it's still really powerful. Like,
so the opening of it like is beautiful. With you hearing like the women and just and the way like the noises, the sounds, not the noises, the sounds that he chose to use for this sound very angelic. It sounds like you're like walking into this angelic place where only women are allowed, and he's like the only man that was allowed to come in. Like that's genuinely like when I listen to the album and I close my eyes, I see the color pink, and I just see beautiful women everywhere just doing really angelic things, and like just there's water splash and shit like that. And this is how Congratulations sounds when it opens. It sounds really, really
like he's in this room and he's not even trying. He's in a room with all these beautiful women. And he's not even trying to fuck them. He's just happy to be there,
having a good time, frolicking around. And shit.
Yeah. That's actually a good example. Dang was the first single for this, and it's the next song on this album, and it features Anderson .Paak. It was their first collaborative song that they did together, but they did a couple other songs after this. But this song is what made me excited for this album. I remember he premiered it on I want to say it was Zane Lowe on Beats One, and I was like, damn, like this is different. Like this has like a groove that Mac Miller doesn't usually have. So I was looking forward to this. And I think Anderson .Paak brings this out of a lot of people that he works with. He just brings like this whole different type of swing.
Of course he does. Anderson .Paak has like the spirit of like a like he was at Motown in their prime, and he just brings that spirit out, and it kind of gives people freedom. Like sometimes I just imagine like Anderson .Paak is the person that like gets people to do coke for the first time and just gets in there and just fucking just records like a fucking amazing song or like just an amazing tune, because you could tell that a lot of his music comes organically where he's like, all right, let's just jam. Let's just talk.
Just freestyles.
Like, I feel like he doesn't. He's like, yo, let's just go in there and like just work it through. Like, what's going on with you? Oh, you Ariana Grande got you feeling like that, and then he just hits a drum like bam.
Yeah,
like we just gonna keep that.
We're gonna keep that. We're gonna roll with
and
that.
then he just keeps going. But let me ask you, like, do you think that it helped or hurt Mac that like pretty much every project sounded different?
No, I think it helped him because I think it showed how much he was growing as an artist, and I think that's why it hurt even more when he passed, because he was getting. You just wanted to know what else he was gonna do. At least from my perspective, I wanted to know what else he had coming. Because like when Swimming came, there was a good amount of rapping on Swimming, but also you had like a good mixture of what was on Divine Feminine, and then leading up to it, he was exploring all these different areas of his talent. Like he was playing instruments and he was playing the guitar. I think he started playing piano. Like he just was getting more in tune. He was hanging out with Thundercat a lot, who is like super fucking talented. So he was picking up a lot of different shit from all these other artists. So I think it helped him. I think it definitely helped him. You brought up Kanye earlier, and not to say that his discography is anywhere near Kanye's, but it's like,
I know where you're going with it. Yeah,
it's just like no two are the same. Where like where he started, you look at where he started with, what was his first album?
Kids.
Was it Kids?
Yeah.
You look at Kids, and then you look at Divine Feminine. It's like it's not even the same artist.
Yeah.
So where he was going was what I was most interested in. So
yeah, I feel like we were like obviously listening to this, and then I just like, let me just check through some other albums. Like I was like, damn, we were robbed of probably he probably would have caught up with everybody else that was kind of like his peers, quote unquote. And I think that it messed like him passing away. Like we never got to like see that to its full like fruition.
Mm-hmm.
So it sucks when that happens, right? Because all we have is his old music, but then you don't want him exploited, like how Anderson said, like don't put that man's music out after he dies.
Yeah.
Like, so it's like now all we can do is just like say like what if and just like be happy with the music that we have. But he was a studio rat, so like we know that like there's mad unreleased music that that we'll probably never get to hear.
He has a verse on Young Thug's new album. So like he's been having verses just popping up since he passed. He had a verse on Division's album with Ty Dolla $ign. I think down the line he has more shit coming out, but of course it's going to be approved by like his estate, his mom, his family. So As long as he gets a good send off with that.
Right.
I think Stay is my shit. Is produced by ID Labs. Really, really good song. Really good lead from the Dang song. Big on instrumentation. You had anything on this one?
Yeah. This song is familiar to everybody, right? We all have that moment when we in bed with that person and you just, they like, yo, I gotta go. And you're like, all right, 10 more minutes.
Yeah.
And like they like, yo, stop playing with me. And you're like, no, I don't, like just stay here. I just want, you know, you just want, you want her, you want to hold her, or you want him to hold you, whatever it is, you know, whatever your preference is. But like this song is like the epitome of that. And I'm listening to it, and I'm like, damn, I just did that. Just happened to me this morning. I had to get ready to go to work, and my girl wouldn't let me leave the fucking room. And I was like, damn, like, man, he gets it. Like, and I can imagine him making Ariana Grande late for everything. Like, making her, like, listen, I know you got to go perform for the president, but come on, man. Like, fuck, you Ariana Grande, make them wait. I just could envision that. I feel like because remember, Big Sean complained that she was always busy. So imagine how much Matt complained about her being busy.
Oh yeah, I could see that too.
That was definitely
she's a fucking superstar.
Yeah, she's a super duper star. So I could see that. And I could see her being like super loyal and super responsible.
Mm-hmm. The next one on this is Skin. He had an interesting tidbit about Skin. First off, it was produced by is it Jamson? JMSN?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Who I really fuck with, but I didn't know his name that well. I apologize. But he had a really interesting tidbit. He said after he wrote this song, is when he left the studio after writing this song, and that's when he heard that Prince died. So he was like really fucked up about that, and he cried about it for like a couple weeks, and he had like this really touching tribute to Prince about it, which I thought was really cool. But for the song itself, I really, really like it. I think Jamson as a producer is really slept on.
He is.
I don't think he gets enough credit. How did you feel about this one?
Skin is an amazing song, right? And when I listen to it, it makes me think about one of my favorite movies, Mo Better Blues. Mo Better Blues is one of my favorite movies that I can watch if it's on television, I can watch it at any time. Long time ago in my single days. Long time ago. I would like watch this movie and like have conversations with women about it, like just like they're asking them their take. Like, so when I hear this song, I'm like, this song could have actually like absolutely been like interjected somehow, some way into that movie.
Yeah, okay, I can see that.
This song is so jazzy. It has such a good feeling. It's so melodic. I was like, damn, this definitely could have got played with Mo Better Blues.
Yeah,
like, in Mo Better Blues, like,
in Mo
for the
Better
sound,
Blues,
into the score.
And man, I gotta revisit that movie, by the way.
Yo, man,
I haven't seen it in years.
Watch it, bro. Like it's good conversation with women. And especially for the simple fact, like there's so many scenarios that happen where, you know, like Denzel is kind of like juggling two women and wasting both of their time, and then one of them decide to do something. So it's just one of those things. So
yeah,
it's a good conversation, especially when you still out here.
Yeah, you know, some of us are still out here.
Yeah.
So the next song on this one is Cinderella. Cinderella features Ty Dolla $ign, is produced by Aja Grant and DJ Dahi. It's one of my favorite songs on this album. You know, the misconception, at least what we thought when this album came out, was that the whole thing was about Ariana Grande, because she was getting a lot of flack for like after he passed, and you know, she was getting a lot of flack for like the direction that his music was taking. But then she actually came forward and said Cinderella was the only song that was written that was dedicated to me, which I still feel is kind of like, when you listen to this album, I feel like, you know, that's false, but I gotta take what she's saying from it.
So, all right, this is my thing, right? I think that he was dating her at the time. So yeah, like that's very true. The music could have been like influenced by her, but I think like he was telling the truth, like every female experience that he's had. So I think like pretty much probably every best sexual experience of his best encounters with women were something that he talked about on the album. I believe that, because think about like when Kanye made 808s and Heartbreaks. Like remember, like, we thought, like, oh shit, like, he's talking about this girl, but like, remember, like, Kanye had like 3 girlfriends before 808s or Heartbreaks even came out. Like, Alexis Pfeiffer was the most popular girlfriend, right? But then he had a girl that was on that show, what was it, Brooklyn Heights or whatever, something Heights. She was on a BET show.
Yeah, and I thought that was Alexis Pfeiffer.
Nah, that's not Alexis Pfeiffer. Nah, 2 different women.
Okay.
And that was like, I forgot her name. Damn, I can't think of her name right now. But he different songs. Like I thought, like different songs were just about different things in his relationship, or on how My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, like Blame Game. Like, you know, he had Blame Game. We talking about Amber Rose, right? And then he had the song You're My Heaven, You're My Hell. That was dedicated to Kim.
Yeah.
Like, there's different songs about, you know, different experiences with women. So I definitely believe that he was talking about different relationships. So I'm gonna wrap it up, guys, with that. I'm sorry. Yeah. It was different experiences. And then also I wanted to say, it's funny. This is Regg's favorite song. This is my least favorite song. I don't know why, but Ty Dolla $ign does it. It doesn't. He doesn't do it for me on this song, and I'm a huge Ty Dolla $ign.
Yo, he sounds so good on this song.
Yo, I don't like it, bro. Like, Mac Miller's verses, fine, straight, do it for me. But I don't know why. But Ty Dolla $ign, I would have rather Mac just sing the hook on the song. I was okay with that. I didn't need Ty to sing.
Okay.
I really like, and I think because I'm gonna tell you why the song was because I know that this song was dedicated to Ariana Grande and it was so personal. I just wanted Mac only.
Okay. I just like it. I like it because of the you know, he isn't really rapping that much on this album. So hearing this, I don't think actually up until this he wasn't really like rapping like this up until this song, and then you hear him rapping and it's kind of like a good switch up for me on this album. And then the Ty Dolla $ign verse or chorus rather is just a nice add on. But Brooke was the girlfriend.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Told you.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember her now. That's like a glitch in my head.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, okay. So the next song is Planet Goddamn. It features, I always mess this young lady's name up. Is it
Najosma?
Yes. I think.
Okay, we're so sorry.
Yeah, and she has a really dope song out with Ari Lennox that I really, really like. But it's produced by Vinyls and Frank Dukes. Planet Goddamn, how we feeling?
I listened to this song and said, damn, Wale must be swinging at the air that he didn't get a chance to make this shit. This is such a Wale. This is Wale's lane right here. Like, he did such a better job at Wale doing Wale than Wale does Wale. I was like, Wale heard this shit and was like, this nigga in the studio with me?
This is some
Wale. This is a very, very, very Wale song.
Na.
Tell me
this is like a Wale type lane. It is. I can hear that. Damn. I mean, well, Wale ain't got the range, so. All right, so the next song, Rob is about to run through the fucking wall.
Like the Kool-Aid man?
The next song is Soulmate. Soulmate is produced by Mr. Neek and Dan Punk. There's a lot of these producers on here. I just want to make note that a lot of producers on this album that I had never heard of prior and that I had to look up and like educate myself on. And I really like that every time I run into that.
And sorry to cut you off, but like a lot of them are known for like their live performances.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yes,
right.
Exactly.
So like they're in that lane, right? So question. So to me, Mac kind of, sort of, not wholeheartedly, kind of, sort of like has this thing like where he can do like what the game does, where like he can like perfect another person's flow. Did you not like catch that like he probably heard Chance the Rapper's Cocoa Butter Kisses, and probably like took that flow and perfected it?
I could see that. I could see how him and I could see that. I could see how him and there's another rapper too that I think he gets that from. There's another one because I was just listening to Good AM today and I was like, yo, you sound like somebody. And I couldn't put my finger on it, but I could see that from Mac because Mac studies not just like old school, but like people that's with him too, like in his class.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think sometimes it's to a fault because he's a fan as well.
Yeah,
he's very, very selfless. Like he has no ego when it comes to that, and I think that was his gift and his curse.
Why do you think it was his curse?
Because he had no ego. So as a rapper, rap is all ego. I think as when you're in a rap lane, you kind of gotta like think niggas can't fuck with you. Well, no, Mac shouldn't think that at all. Mac should think these rappers can't fuck with him. But yeah, like I just think that hindered him because whenever he would get on songs with other rappers, they always outshine him. Hey, Reg, you shave your balls?
I do shave my balls.
What product do you use?
I use Manscaped, especially the Lawnmower Trimmer 4.0.
Wow, I need to check that out.
I think you should. And with our code, RAPINORDER20, you can get 20% off.
Wow, Reg, thanks for that. My girl's going to be so happy.
Smooth as eggs.
Always.
Well, it depends. Because, like, he got some shit with, like, Currency that he outshined Currency on. He got some shit with, I want to say he got some shit with Schoolboy that he outshined Schoolboy on. So he has like little things here and there, but then like those are relationships that he has with like really close people.
Yeah,
like
those
like
are
he
his
has
friends.
real relationships with those people. So it's probably easier in that sense. But I think you might be right on that. Let's see here. We'll move to the next one, which is
We.
Is it We?
Yeah, it's We with CeeLo.
Yes. We featuring CeeLo. Which you have on this one. It's produced by Frank Dukes.
All right, so it's smooth as fuck. Getting CeeLo on the track is kind of like a flex to me, even though like CeeLo is like, it doesn't seem far fetched to be able to get CeeLo on the track. Like to me, like it's Goody Mob, like you know what I'm saying. Like he's like a legend. So getting him on the track and being Mac Miller, I couldn't like. I know like CeeLo is like a really cool, laid back dude, but I just feel like he would tell Mac Miller no. Well, would have told Mac Miller no.
Yeah.
So for Mac to be able to get in the studio with him and impress him enough to be like, yeah, I'll do the album.
Yeah.
I think it's cool as fuck. It just speaks volumes about like who Mac is. So I think that's dope.
Deal with Mac Miller, bitch.
Yeah. I think it's dope.
I think Mac Miller is one of those undeniable. Was one of those undeniable people that. He came to you with a presentation of a song. He didn't just come to you and say, yo, I want to do a song with you. He came to you with like a whole thing, and he was talented enough to actually have the skeletons of a song together already. You kind of just needed to insert yourself, or he showed you where you would fit.
Yeah. I think if Mac would have lived a little longer, he definitely would have got that 3,000.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, that would have been great.
Because that's the trajectory he was on, because when I hear the Divine Feminine, that's what I imagined something. I think obviously Andre's album would be.
I mean, shit. Anderson .Paak got an Andre feature.
Yeah.
Down the line, which is a great song too.
I think that Andre's album probably would have been dedicated to women in love. When I think about it, so like that's why when I hear this album, I'm just like, damn. Imagine what Andre would have.
The Love Below was kind of.
It was.
Yeah.
It was. I guess because the way the Love Below was recorded, I felt like he worked on his own album, but like that was his first time doing it. I think now, with all the time that has passed, I feel like there's a lot of music that Andre has. He's just scared to put out, which is fucking mind boggling. That he will be scared to put out music.
Yeah, when you read his when you read Andre's interviews or even listen to like some appearances that he makes or whatever, he's not as confident in himself as we are.
At all.
He doesn't look at himself the way that we look at him.
At all.
It's just kind of, I don't know. Like it worries me about him because like I feel like he's one of those artists that's just, he's in his head a lot, right? And he's just not, he doesn't exude this confidence that like we say that rappers should have.
That rappers are supposed to have.
So I think he's in his head a lot, and like the first, and I'm sorry to go off on a rant about it, but the first time that it like occurred to me was when he was on the cover of GQ, and they give off this perception of Andre like he's always happy, because the whole spread, he was like smiling, he's wearing these vibrant colors, and then you read it and it's sad as fuck, and it's like, why don't y'all just show this about him? Like he's a real human. It's not like he's not a caricature, like show like his real emotion of where he's at.
I think because Andre just has like a great smile and they do photo shoots with him.
Yeah.
Well, you want to know what? I think what happens in magazine shoots, what that sucks is that they do the shoot and the interview is completely separate. So I think that they don't even like converse like, yo, this is what we're doing for the photo shoot.
Yeah.
Or Oh, well, the interview went like this. I don't even think the photographer and the interviewer converse.
Yeah, that shit was sad, man. He was like talking about like how he still had his mom's tennis rack because she was like getting it. She was into tennis and he was learning tennis because of her, and he keeps it by his door, and like it was really sad. I'm like, damn. And then I'm reading this and I'm looking at him just smiling on the side in the profile.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
like,
I have that GQ, man.
yeah, it's sad as fuck. But to get back into this album, CeeLo and Mac Miller, great collab. I think they were another duo that like I think CeeLo even said like, yo, he wished he worked with him more like after he passed, because like he really liked where he was at and where he was going. But that could have been really dope. I mean, they did We Live actually, which was really dope. Yeah, man, it's sad revisiting this album because yeah, like he's just one of those artists that could have got so far.
Yeah, you realize you just like, yo, it was so much more that he had to offer, right? So
The next one.
I want to get into the next one. My
Okay.
favorite part.
So the next song is my favorite part, and it features his girlfriend at the time, Ariana Grande.
Wale definitely heard this. Said, this nigga stole my whole flow.
Bar for bar.
Son, like I know, like, and it's funny because you hear it and you just like, damn, him and like he really, you know, Wale like try like go so hard like doing this and he does Wale does a great job at it. That's the thing that's funny. I'm not even knocking, like I enjoy that shit from Wale, like from Wallace.
Yeah.
But I just think that like he doesn't get the like respect that he's due in that lane. Like he made Lotus Flower Bomb, bro.
Yeah, Lotus Flower Bomb was like, I think he's been trying to chase that type of thing since, you know, and he's had success with it though. Like, you know, he has a wedding song with Usher, you know, that does really well.
Yeah,
for
the
him.
Matrimony. Yeah,
The Matrimony.
I love that song.
Yeah, that's a great song.
Yeah.
So like
The album about nothing is great.
he taps into that every now and then, and he gets one. But this song is great. I think Ariana Grande, she knew that Mac wanted to sing on this song, and she kind of like scaled back her vocals a little bit. But she still bodied this. She still bodied it.
She knew like what to do. Like she just went in there like, all right, babe, let's go. I really, really enjoyed this song though, and like I love the fact that like he's singing, and I also think that it's funny that like the effect that she has on men, because she had the same effect on Big Sean. And Big Sean started like singing and stuff like that. I don't think that's a coincidence. That like she's so talented vocally. I felt like she kind of like gave them like pointers, and like both of these niggas was like, oh, I'm singing, like I'm doing this.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. She has great songs with Big Sean too. Yeah.
Who do you think got better songs together? Are we gonna do that? Are we gonna take it there?
Well, she has. I think favorite part is better. Favorite part is better than. Damn, I can't even remember the song that she has with Big Sean. Well, I know it's on Dark Sky Paradise. They have one or two songs together.
They have two songs together. I think that the song with Mac and Ariana is better.
Yeah,
personally.
Yeah, it is.
But I think that Sean I think that's just the Motown in that nigga.
Yeah, Sean has always been on that singing shit. Like he always dipped in and out of it, and then now with Janae, like he's always on that shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, my favorite part is an amazing song. We'll get into God Is Fair, Sexy Nasty. Features Kendrick Lamar. It's produced by Tay Beast. Every time, I don't know, Kendrick does collabs fairly frequently, but every time I see his name, I'm still like, what? Kendrick is on this?
I love this song, but this is what I was talking about when he like MC comes like, obviously it's Kendrick Lamar, so it's like if you're gonna get outshined by a nigga, you're gonna get outshined by a nigga that's considered the best, right? But I just feel like, and maybe it was because of the tone of this song. So I mean, this album, right? So I'll give him that. But I just feel that like you don't allow the best, like you don't allow a rapper to come on your album and do this.
Yeah.
Like Kendrick came on his album and did that. He did that to him. He did it to him.
Yeah.
And I don't think that he should allow that.
But Kendrick does that to most people though, on their albums.
Like, it's just one of those things, man.
But then
like,
also, like, I think, all right, so I think us as like older hip hop heads, we think about collabs differently than the rappers think about collabs. I think the rappers do it as more of a selfless, talent driven thing where it's like, yo, I'm building this up so you can have a moment on this to like really body this shit. But when we listen, we're like, yo, he bodied you on your shit, you know?
yeah, I guess for me, like, I literally think the same way that I think Joe Budden thinks about rap records, and I just be like,
because sometimes it's a build up. Like when you listen to Monster and you're like, yo, Nicki bodied that shit, but it's like, yeah, they all signs pointed to that. Or you hear 2 Chainz break down on Mercy.
Mm-hmm.
That was all because he was supposed to have that. Like sometimes rappers are just supposed to have that moment.
That's true. Okay. Yeah. I'll give it that. What stood out to me on this track more so than anything was the ending.
Mm-hmm.
The lady telling that story. And
that was his grandmother.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that was his grandma, right? So I think that his grandmother telling that story is really sweet, and it makes me think of what Peggy Carter Peggy Carter would tell her story if Steve Rogers never became Captain America. If Steve never took the superhero serum and they just lived their lives out, falling in love. For all my nerdy comic book fans, if you get that reference, you're welcome. But yeah,
shout out to the comic book chat.
Yes.
but okay, so I know Mac Miller wasn't fully like he wasn't like one of your go-to artists, right? Before he passed. But then you visit this and then you visit a handful of other albums that since he passed. Like, is this your favorite one from the bunch?
I want to live with some more Mac Miller albums, but I will say that being in a relationship now and listening to this album made me have a different perspective as far as like being a one woman man. Mm-hmm. Hearing this album kind of made me relate a little bit more than I probably could have 6 years ago, right? Mm. So when I heard this, I was just like listening to it now. I'm like, oh shit, like. I really like where Mac was going, like musically, because like I said, this is his 808s. Mm-hmm. Like I know that for a fact. So I want to like live with some of his other projects before like I make that decision. Mm-hmm. But I definitely did enjoy this project to the point where like the honest truth is like obviously I knew who Mac Miller was. I would give like his music a listen. But before, like, I really didn't try. Like, I didn't try to like understand or try to be a fan or anything like that, right? Yeah. But when he passed, it's just respect. Mm-hmm. So, ladies and gentlemen, before this episode even aired, like, right, the guys made a joke. They were like, "Taurian, you got the R.I.P. Mac Miller shirt," and I'm like, "Well, because he passed away. Like, you know, like, obviously I wanted to honor the man. Like, you know, he was a part of hip hop, but like, I wasn't truly a fan. This album made me a fan." And what I'm saying is that like I know that the gentleman is talented, and that I know that Mac Miller absolutely was capable of probably going way further than he did in music. So I feel like I owe it to him to live with some of his other music a little bit more before I can say what I think is my favorite project for him and what I think is his best project, because it's differences, right? Yeah. So far, Divine Feminine is my favorite Mac Miller project. Okay. But I want to live with some more of his albums, and you know, maybe we'll like revisit. We'll do an episode for another Mac Miller album, and I'll talk about this and revisit. Yeah. So out of 5 waffles, what would you give this? Out of 5 waffles, I'm gonna give it 4.5 out of 5, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because there's only one song that like I have an issue with, and it's not even an issue with Mac. It's just that Ty Dolla. I don't feel that song was so personal. I feel like it shouldn't have been Ty Dolla Sign on the hook. It should have just been Mac. That should have just been Mac alone. That's my only beef. Think about that. Think about how much I critique albums, and my only true beef with the album is Ty Dolla Sign shouldn't have been. But I don't think Cinderella. So all right, so I get the critique in the sense that you know you don't like Ty Dolla Sign on the song, but it's not that personal of a song. It's just like he's just talking about sex with his girl. You don't think having sex with your girl is personal, Regg? No, but I mean, from a rapper's perspective of what we know from rappers, it's just like I get it. He's not talking about like you know. All right, well, I guess for me, like I when I'm telling you, like I really lived with this album, because you gotta remember, ladies and gentlemen, like if you notice this, we are a week late. We took a week off, so I've lived with this album for 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. So in this 2 weeks, I've really been forcing myself to like listen. So listening to this project, I'm like, all right, this is the song when this is the song that he dedicated to his girl.
Mm-hmm.
That he claimed that was claimed that the only song that was technically dedicated to his girl.
Mm-hmm.
So Ty Dolla $ign, I don't know why, his singing just fucks me up. It just throws me off. That's what I'm saying. He don't know. He ain't fuck Ariana Grande. He don't know her.
Yeah. Okay.
So but for me, it throws me off.
Okay.
I gave it a 4 out of 5, 4.5 out of 5.
No, I mean I'm just trying to understand the critique. It doesn't mean that it has to be just him just because it's dedicated to.
Nah, nigga.
You know,
I'm thinking about my girl. Ain't nobody getting on the song, bro.
I'll be sure it wrote Forever My Lady, and that was dedicated to his girl, but he didn't sing on that.
Bro, that's a whole nother conversation. I'll be sure it's a piece of shit, and you know it.
But he didn't sing. But I'm just talking about as an example. He didn't sing on the song, but he wrote that. You know,
so he says, bro.
He wrote it.
Fuck that nigga.
So you having my baby, you know? Nigga wrote one of the most classic openers in history.
And then gave up custody of the fucking baby to the next man. Fuck, I'll be sure.
I mean, that's another whole.
Yeah, that's what I said. You brought it up, bro. I'll tell you my opinion.
That's a whole nother thing. But that'll be it. Oh, so for my rating.
Yeah, what's your rating?
For my rating for this album, I'll give it a solid 4.
Damn, this is history, ladies and gentlemen. I've ranked the album higher than Regg on our Waffle rating. I'm telling you right now.
I'll give this album a solid 4.
This album really did it for me, y'all.
This is always a treat when I listen to it. I really, really, really enjoy this album. I think on a musical level, Mac Miller was obvious. I've said it over and over again. He was only getting better. But yeah, I'll give it a 4.
All right, take us home.
I have been First Class Regg.
I'm always Taurian B.
And we are out of here.
See you guys next time.
Peace.